It's midday in mid-August and I'm leaving the city of Pittsburgh after spending yesterday riding around enjoying the sights. I'm riding the southern bank of the Monongahela River going southeast on the Three Rivers Heritage Trail, a trail that is part of a larger network of trails that make up what is known as the Great Allegheny Passage Trail. The Great Allegheny Passage Trail connects the cities of Pittsburgh and Washington, D.C. with an uninterrupted rail trail system covering 335 miles. This was made possible by converting what was formerly the Baltimore and Ohio, Pittsburgh and Lake Erie, and the Union and Western Maryland Railroads. The first 20 miles of the Great Allegheny Passage Trail from the city of Pittsburgh to the town of Boston are paved and pass through the cities of Duquesne and McKeesport. This 21-mile section has so much to see. One rides past amusement parks such as the Sandcastle Water and the Thomastown at Kennywood Park, climbs several railroad passes while watching the busy tracks with trains going by, and entertains with the endless stream of cyclists and walking people passing by. After amusing myself watching the Screaming Phantoms Revenge roller coaster riders outside of the city of Duquesne, I climb over one of the railroad overpasses where I meet Craig, Simon, and Jacob. I just met up with all these cool kids and Dad. What's your names?
Simon. Jacob.
Jacob and?
Simon.
Damon?
Simon.
Simon,
Yeah.
nice to meet you. And Dad?
Greg.
And
Nice to
Greg.
meet you.
I'm Diego. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
So you guys do this Allegheny Passage Trail all the time?
So this is the first time they've been on this trail, but they've been on other trails around Pittsburgh.
Yeah?
So we live somewhat close by.
What kind of bicycle do you have, Simon?
I got it from Dirty Harry.
It's a bicycle shop?
Yeah.
That's a nice bike with the black and the orange and yellow. Like, it's got the Pittsburgh colors a little bit.
Yeah.
What about you? Where'd you get your bike?
Dick's. In Monongahela.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm making some good miles and there's a lot of camping access along the trail, so I can just keep riding and figure it out as I go. I reach the city of McKeesport and meet up with 4 other cyclists while waiting for a train to go by. For 4 miles we ride together, chatting away and sharing information until we rode into Boston. We eventually say goodbye and I finally ride into fine crushed limestone in a more natural and secluded setting. I'm definitely out of Pittsburgh now, about 25 miles. And I'm feeling what the Great Allegheny Passage Trail is going to be about. It's a gorgeous, lush landscape. One of the cool things about this trail is that there's a lot of camping options along the entire place. So I looked them up and it looks like I'll be able to camp every night for as long as I'm around this trail. This is the town of Buena Vista. Just gonna cruise on past it and go to West Newton. I got a lemonade stand, can't pass it up. I'm going for it. What do we got going on?
We have pink lemonade, water. I pooped earlier. And a bag of chips. Oh.
It's really, really good. It's homemade, so she says.
It's not. Yeah.
He says it's not, but it's regardless, it's sugary and delicious, and I'm gonna have another one. That was spectacular. All those kids are having a ball. I'm almost to this campground. It's 7:20. I'm tired. I ate some food and now I'm like super sleepy. I can't wait to put my tent up and go to bed. It was a fun day riding out of Pittsburgh and getting on the Gap, the Great Allegheny Passage Trail, and it's truly beautiful. And I've met a lot of people. I've stopped a lot and checked out a lot of different spots along the way. From Buena Vista, I rode 10 miles past the town of West Newton before reaching this camp spot. A police officer in town told me to camp anywhere, so I picked a nice flat grassy area facing the sunset and got settled in. Last night was a rainy one, so I shook off my tent and dried it with my chamois best I could, packed my bags, and got back on the trail aiming to reach Ohiopyle State Park by day's end. This day proved to be most memorable, with abundant nature and the trail seemingly my own. The rain kept coming and going and likely kept other trail users from coming out. Today's about when I start grasping the reason for the Great Allegheny Passage Trail's reputation as one of the most beautiful rail trail systems in the United States. Even though the trail from Pittsburgh to here in West Newton has been extremely entertaining, this next section takes you into thicker and more lush nature. For 40 miles, it continues on along the Monongahela River with only a few towns and a city to pass by before reaching the town of Ohiopyle. Another day. I slept like probably 10 hours at least. Such deep sleep when I'm in my tent. And now it's a nice cool morning and I'm in the middle of the Great Allegheny Passage Trail. It's beautiful. That's what happens in Pennsylvania when you get off the trail. Go straight up. Here's a father and son team traveling the entire Great Allegheny Passage Trail to Washington, D.C., raising funds for the ELCA Youth Group program. It's good there's two of you.
I know. Hey.
How's it going?
Good, good. How are you? Sore bottoms. What kind of seat do you have?
A
Comfortable seat?
A Brooks, yeah.
Is it good? Is it really comfortable?
Yes.
Fairly?
I love it. I met these two a couple of times along the way and enjoyed their adventurous personality. They had that unwavering desire to be in nature and connected with a great cause. Soon after seeing them zipping by me once again on their e-bikes, I get off the trail in search of something to eat. It took 20 trail miles from my campsite to reach the next town of Dawson. I'm getting off the trail to go get some food. Dawson didn't have much of an option for me other than this convenience store, so I grabbed a couple of cakes and an iced tea and took a break while watching the light traffic pass by this town's intersection. Back to rain. I just stopped and had a couple of cakes and some iced tea. As soon as I got back on the trail, the rain started once again. I put my rain jacket on, took my shorts off and put them with my shoes and socks in one of my bags, and rode on in my flip-flops. Even though I do this only when warm weather, this routine allows me to get back to being fully dry soon after the rain stops. Adding any more gear onto myself would only make me sweat and I would end up wet either way. I quickly ride past the city of Connellsville. By now I'm in this whole trail riding frame of mind and want little to do with city traffic and congestion. So since the trail continues to get more and more lush as I keep on, I pedal away looking to see what else it has to offer. We're good? Thank you.
Where else are you gonna get service like that?
Thank you guys. Crazy how those train bridges are built, were built, and now they're like for bicycling and hiking and or trail walking. Great use of a old resource that doesn't get used anymore. I think everybody quit the trail because after the rain I haven't seen a single person. My intuition served me right on this occasion. The trail continued to improve with small waterfalls coming off the cliffs, thickly forested scenery, wildlife sightings and the constant soothing noise of the Monongahela River. This trail just got spectacular. It was kind of like I was wondering like what's up? Why are people talking about it? And just like that, the river starts making a lot more noise. This jagged cliff that's been like made into a railroad. I can't even imagine a rail through here back in the day. Unbelievable. The more you do something like I'm doing with the bicycle touring, the more you appreciate those special moments. Like right now, I would easily ride hundreds of miles to have a moment like this, and it just came on because the trail wasn't really spectacular until now. I mean, it was awesome, don't get me wrong, the whole thing all the way from Pittsburgh has been a blast, but I just like rode myself into amazingness. There is nobody around, the birds are chirping away after the rain. It's cool in the middle of summer and I'm enveloped in nature, like crazy scenery all around, super steep hills on the right of me, the river making noise on the left, and on the other side of the river is this insane steep mountain full of lush landscape and nature. It's easy to see why trails like this one attract as many as 1 million annual visitors. This serves multiple purposes, starting with providing access to these natural resources, adding value to people's lives, as well as infusing revenue to the state's economy. The Rails to Trails Conservancy estimates that Pennsylvania's 186 rail trails with over 2,000 combined trail miles contribute close to $1 billion to its economy every year. I spotted some deer up ahead. See if I can get them on video. They stopped and looked at me for a little bit, but they turned around and went off before I could get my camera out. We'll see if I can catch up to them. They just went down the trail a little farther up. One of the major perks of trail riding is the people you end up meeting along the way. It's so easy to stop and chat without the traffic to worry about. Soon after spotting several deer, including a doe that didn't notice me coming behind her, startling her down to the river, I meet up with Brian, a coach for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds USL soccer team. I just met up with Brian. He was riding in the bicycle. He's a coach in Pittsburgh for the Riverhounds USL soccer team, and he was telling me about how he's grown up in, what's the name of the city?
Connellsville.
Connellsville. I have a hard time pronouncing that. But he's telling me what this trail used to be like back in the day when he was growing up here.
Yeah, so we were kids. This trail that you're on now was for, we'd ride our dirt bikes, four-wheelers, go to Ohiopyle. We could ride all over, but this was, it was originally just for dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and kids would just, constant ride through here. And matter of fact, if you'd make a right and go up this hill, there's a, where we'd ride our four-wheelers, there's a natural spring. It's called Blue Hole. The water is crystal clear. We used to swim there, and then they turned this into a bike trail now that is, heavily used.
So how often do you use the trail for bicycling?
Me, I just use it, like I said, I stay fit. I want to stay fit for coaching these kids, coaching the academy, and I wanted to get fit again. So I use it not as much as I'd like to, but every chance I get, I'll come out here and ride the 17 miles and enjoy the wilderness. Catch your breath away from everyday life, but then you get to meet some pretty cool people. Who would have thought today I'd get up, go out on a ride, especially on a rainy day, and then you run into some cool people from different different places.
So it was a positive addition to the community.
100%.
Oh yeah.
100%, because like I said, the kids, the four-wheelers, dirt bikes, they relocated paths and trails. So yeah, for a while, it stunk. For when we were little, it stunk. We're like, they took our trail away. But overall, 100%. Not only for people, but the city itself, the travel and the different people that come through the city now because of this trail that might normally not have done that.
Yeah, that brings revenue.
Definite.
What about the other thing I was going to ask you about is your daughter. You were saying that she played soccer for Notre Dame.
Yes.
And then she had some injuries, and then she created tell me more about that.
It's called Stronger Scars. She was injured throughout her career, had 3 surgeries, continued to play through them. Wanted to start a platform to help. She does a podcast and a platform to help other athletes that are injured to tell their stories and to help them through the injury part, the mental health side of things, to hopefully help them in any way that they can to get back onto the field, or what comes after if unfortunately they can't get back on the field. But it's called Stronger Scars, and it's really generating a lot of people. I'm
gonna look it up. It sounds really interesting.
I'm proud of her for that, and proud of the people that are willing to put their stories on there and kind of step out of that bubble and help others as well.
That guy Brian and I, we chatted for a while. I could have chatted longer, but the rain started. The Great Allegheny Passage Trail. I think I'm a glutton for punishment, but you might not believe this, but I'm totally in the happiest moment right now. I just love what I'm doing and where I'm at, and I love the rain on me. I think I got it all contained and it feels good. I'm just trying to be careful not to fall I don't have shoes on, which makes my feet vulnerable. And I'm just riding with flip-flops, so I fall here, hurt my toe, it's over. So I gotta watch what I'm doing, or fall in a ditch. It's a lot easier to go through something like that when you're dry. When you're soaked and your skin's wet, you're gonna get cut. After hanging with Brian, I did not see anyone else on the trail, and for good reason. About now, my bike started giving me trouble with all this sandy limestone gravel lifting up off the ground with the rainwater and getting all caught up in my drivetrain. I think my chains had it and my derailleur needs a full-blown cleanup, which I have to do. I just been slacking on it, and now the rain and dirt combined, it's hating me for it. I ride over the Monongahela River on the Ohiopyle High Bridge and into the town of Ohiopyle, where I look for a hose to rinse off as much of my bike as I can in hopes of being able to shift gears with more ease before looking for the state park. This was a momentary quick fix since the rainwater and gravel dust combined had pretty much taken off any lubrication my chain rings and chain had. All I could do is leave it be for now and wait until the bike dried the next day before cleaning it and reapplying chain lube. I thought I was just destroying my drivetrain. Makes me think about one of those pinion gearboxes. I wouldn't mind having one of those someday. There's only one campground nearby, and it's prohibited to camp on the trail, which I find kind of ridiculous, but I guess I understand if there were a gazillion people doing it. But anyways, it says it's a third of a mile up this hill. It's super wet, slippery rock, and my derailleur, even if I had my derailleur working right, I wouldn't. If it was dry, I would do it, but I've already been climbing. Just gotta go and keep doing it. Hopefully it'll level off up there. Oh man, I'm almost there. Made it to Ohiopyle State Park, climbing that insane steep hill with just really slippery gravel. It was not easy with my flip-flops, and but I made it here. I haven't checked in, but I guess I'll figure it out in the morning. It's just, I asked and somebody said I had to go back downhill. I was like, negative. I'm just gonna pitch my tent, and somebody says something, and then I'll figure it out from there. But so far it's gorgeous up here. It's wet, everything's soaked. A lot of my stuff is wet, but enough of it dry. And the scenery today, I'll never forget it. And like, it's one of those times where I just cannot wait to watch the video I took of some of these places, and just spectacular. It's a must-see for anybody who cycles and wants to make it to Pennsylvania.